Hello everyone, Kerry-Lou here. Welcome to Silver Style Studio. This is the first video of 2024 for me. Woohoo! Actually, I don't know what I'm woohooing about. It's not a particularly fun subject. Today, I'll be talking all about my frozen shoulder. I realize that not everyone will be that interested in this subject, but frozen shoulder is something that many of us experience as we age, especially postmenopausal women over 50. I know. So I want to share my experience in the hopes that I may be able to help some people with their own frozen shoulder journey. And make no mistake, it is a journey. In this video, I'll let you know what's worked for me to lessen the pain and to get mobility back. I'll talk about physical therapy, cortisone shots, anti-inflammatory, easy for me to say, anti-inflammatory medications. And here's the really interesting part, acupuncture therapy. Oh yes. I want to begin by explaining what a frozen shoulder is. If you're already familiar with frozen shoulder, please feel free to jump ahead to where I share the ways I'm expediting my healing process. I am not a medical professional, but I've learned a lot about frozen shoulder in the last 6 months. If you can't move your shoulder and you're in pain, don't wait, see your doctor. Frozen shoulder, or adhesive capsulitis, is a tightening and thickening of the tissue that surrounds the ball and socket of the shoulder. The capsule gets inflamed and then scarring and adhesions are formed. The shoulder and upper arm become very painful, especially with any sudden movement. There are 2 different types of frozen shoulder: primary adhesive capsulitis and secondary adhesive capsulitis. Primary shoulder can occur, well, out of the blue really, and kind of in a mysterious way. You didn't injure your shoulder, it just happened. Medical professionals will admit to a large degree the cause is elusive. Many women over 50, yes, postmenopausal women, suffer from this more than any other group. Of course, just pile it onto all the other stuff that happens to us, right? Doctors say possible causes are changes in the immune system or biochemical and hormonal imbalances. People suffering with diabetes and thyroid conditions are also susceptible to primary frozen shoulder. Now, secondary or acquired frozen shoulder develops from something we know happened, such as stiffness following a shoulder injury, surgery, or a prolonged period of time that you couldn't move it. At first, I thought I injured myself by overdoing it at the climbing gym, but I did get an MRI and there was no injury, so my frozen shoulder is the more spontaneous type. So how do you know if you have frozen shoulder? Suddenly, you can no longer reach behind you to fasten your bra. You can't put your hand on your hip. And I love putting my hand on my hip. How can you give attitude without putting your hand on your hip? I've even had trouble taking my jacket off, and that's still not easy. There are 3 stages of frozen shoulder: freezing, frozen, and thawing. For some unlucky people, this whole process can take 2, even 3 years to get full range of motion back. I'm hoping to get back to normal way sooner than that. Freezing is the most painful beginning stage. You'll experience limited range of motion and extreme pain. Frozen. In my case, I moved into the frozen stage after about 5 months, but it can definitely take longer to get to the frozen stage. Now it doesn't hurt as much and my range of motion is improved, but I have a ways to go, especially for my side range of motion. So let me tell you about my physical therapist and what happened with my treatment. He seemed so nice when I first met him. His office is a bit new age-ish, kind of spa-like, and he wears nice sweaters, not a white coat. Spa music is softly playing in the background. I explained what's going on and he tested my movement. Yes, he confirmed you definitely have a frozen shoulder, but we'll work on it and it will get better. This is not my new normal, he reassures me. I lay on the massage table and he wraps my arm in a damp heat pad and he leaves me for about 10 minutes. Well, this is looking good. He comes back and he gently manipulates my shoulder. I could definitely get used to this. Then the stretching begins. Absolute torture. This mild-mannered guy turns into this torturous beast. So after 5 weeks of this, I get a referral to an orthopedic doctor. He's young and he seemed a bit cocky. He has a team of young people with him eagerly taking notes. He suggests a cortisone shot and everything's been prepared for that prior to my arrival. Well, anything to get rid of this pain, right? He numbs my shoulder first and then injects the front of my shoulder as well as the back. And let me tell you, it's a great big needle. It hurts, but a few moments of pain would surely be worth the relief. Now my arm's numb, which actually feels very nice, and I'm anticipating being pain-free for a few weeks. And that way I'll be able to go through the horrible stretching in order to get the arm and the shoulder moving. But it doesn't happen. For about a week, the pain was a tiny bit less, perhaps. He gave me a second-day pack of steroid medication to take orally, and that didn't do much to help either. After that, I started to take meloxicam every day. That did help control the pain, but I really don't like to take medicine like that every day. You know, there's all these weird side effects. So now that the pain's not as severe, I stopped taking that about 4 days ago, and I'm actually not in much discomfort at all. When I went to see the orthopedic doctor again, he said it really was not improving, as in the range of motion wasn't improving, and he recommended surgery. Now, at the time he said it, I thought that sounded fine, but then I researched it and saw all these icky YouTube videos on what exactly that surgery looks like, and I decided, this isn't for me. And more bad news at this time. My right shoulder is at the very beginning stage of becoming frozen also. I think I might be able to stop it getting worse though with all the physical therapy I've been doing. We'll see. Then I went to see my friend who's in remission from some pretty serious cancer. She had lost her saliva due to chemo, which was torture. She couldn't swallow food and her mouth was in terrible shape. On one of her appointments to Sloan Kettering in New York City, she found out about a doctor who offered acupuncture treatments. Long story short, after the first treatment, her saliva came back a little. And after the second treatment, the saliva production was more or less back to normal. She was incredibly happy about that and felt so much better. I asked my friend if she could ask him if acupuncture might actually be able to help my shoulder. He said it could, and we made an appointment. Luckily for me, he makes house calls, which was very convenient. After arriving at my house and introducing himself, Dr. Chan asked me questions about the history of my shoulder problem. He's an absolutely sweet, kind man, and he really put me at ease. I sat in my armchair with my feet resting on an ottoman, and I wore pants that I could roll up and a tank top. Dr. Chan proceeded to place acupuncture needles in my shoulders, wrists, knees, and ankle areas. The needles are very thin, and you hardly know they're there. It wasn't painful at all. There was a mild, achy feeling at the sites of the needles, but it was actually relaxing overall. After the session, he had me raise my arm to test my mobility. Was it my imagination, or was my arm moving better already? There was definitely less pain. The next day was my physical therapist appointment. My physical therapist was very pleased and surprised with how much range of motion I had compared with 4 days prior, which was the last time that I saw him. I said, "It's funny you should say that." And I told him about Dr. Chan. "Well, I would never have believed that acupuncture could work on a frozen shoulder," he said. "But you can't argue with results." Now I've seen Dr. Chan about 4 times, and the shoulder gets a bit looser each time. I'm still working hard on my home physical therapy and going to physical therapy about twice a week. That's really important. So, no surgery for me, and that's good news. Physical therapy is not as torturous as it was in the beginning. My physical therapist is not the torturous beast I thought he was. He's just stretching me out, and that's something he has to do. I'm at the stage where my shoulder isn't in as much pain, so I suppose I'm in the frozen or thawing stage perhaps. I do think that the more you work on loosening up your shoulder, the faster recovery is. When I was in the first stages of this, it was pretty depressing. I'm quite active, and not being able to work out and to be in pain all the time, it makes you feel pretty bad. And you do start to think that perhaps this is the new normal. But it's not. I've been feeling much more optimistic because I see my shoulder getting better all the time. My husband Joe and I joined a new gym, and I'm able to work out okay, even my arms and my shoulders. So I really feel a lot stronger overall now. If you're at the start of frozen shoulder and feeling depressed about it, please know that it will get better. You just have to be patient and do your best with keeping up with the exercise. If you have suffered or you're suffering from frozen shoulder, let us know about your experience in the comments section below. Thanks so much for stopping by, and I wish you a very healthy 2024. That's it from me for now, and I'll see you next time. Bye.